Today, we're diving into the world of supply chain management, something that touches every product you buy and use. Let's start by understanding what exactly supply chain management is all about. In simple terms, it's the process of overseeing how products move from raw materials to finished goods and then reaching consumers. Think about a typical day for you. Perhaps you grab breakfast cereal from your pantry. That cereal didn't just appear there. It went through various stages before landing on the shelf at your local supermarket. The supply chain starts with sourcing ingredients, manufacturing them into cereal boxes, packaging those boxes, transporting them to stores, and finally selling them. Now, let's break down some key concepts involved in this process. First up is procurement. That's where companies decide what materials they need for production and find reliable suppliers who can provide these materials. This could be anything from grains for your cereal to paper boxes or packaging tape. Next comes manufacturing, the actual creation of products using raw materials. Companies here focus on efficiency, quality control, and meeting demand without overproducing. Then there's logistics, which covers transportation and warehousing. Materials need to get from suppliers to manufacturers, and then finished products have to be moved to stores or directly to customers. Warehouses play a crucial role in storing these goods safely until they're needed for delivery. Sales and operations planning is another important part of supply chain management. This involves forecasting demand, scheduling production, setting inventory levels, and managing customer orders effectively. Finally, we reach the distribution stage where products are delivered to retailers or customers. Retailers then manage their inventories and sell products directly to consumers. Each step in this process requires careful planning and coordination. The goal is to ensure that everything flows smoothly from start to finish with minimal delays or disruptions. Understanding supply chain management helps us appreciate all the work behind bringing products to market. It also highlights why certain items might be high-ticket or low-cost based on their production processes. So next time you're shopping, think about all those steps involved in getting that product from its raw form into your hands. It's a fascinating journey, and one that truly showcases how interconnected our world is through the supply chain. That wraps up our introduction to basic concepts in supply chain management. All right, let's dive into why having a well-designed supply chain network is so crucial for businesses today. Imagine your supply chain as a complex puzzle where each piece represents a supplier, manufacturer, distributor, or retailer. Now, when all these pieces fit together perfectly, that's when the magic happens. You get efficient operations, reduced costs, and happier customers. First off, let's talk about cost savings. A well-structured network can significantly reduce expenses by minimizing transportation costs, lowering inventory levels, and decreasing the need for expedited shipments. Picture this. If your supply chain is optimized, you might not need to keep as much stock on hand because you know exactly when materials will arrive. Next up, reliability. In a tightly knit supply chain network, disruptions are easier to manage. Take, for example, sudden demand spikes or unexpected shortages. With a robust network in place, these issues can be mitigated through alternative sourcing and quick rerouting of resources. This flexibility is key to maintaining steady operations even during challenging times. Then, there's the customer satisfaction factor. When your supply chain works smoothly, you're better equipped to deliver products on time and as promised. High-quality goods reach customers faster, leading to increased loyalty and positive word-of-mouth recommendations. It's all about delivering that wow factor experience that keeps them coming back for more. Lastly, don't forget about sustainability. An efficient supply chain can help reduce waste and lower the carbon footprint of your business. By carefully managing logistics and collaborating closely with suppliers who share your eco-friendly values, you're contributing to a greener planet. In conclusion, designing an effective supply chain network requires attention to detail and strategic planning. It's not just about connecting dots, It's about weaving together a resilient, cost-effective system that boosts performance and customer satisfaction while supporting sustainability goals. All right, let's dive into analyzing historical data for accurate demand predictions. We're going to start by understanding why this is so important in today's fast-paced business environment. Knowing what happened before can help us predict future trends and plan accordingly. First off, we need to gather the right historical data. This could be sales figures from previous years, customer feedback, or even social media mentions of your product or service. The more comprehensive our dataset is, the better equipped we are to make accurate predictions about demand. Next, let's talk about how to organize this information effectively. We can use spreadsheets and charts to visualize trends over time. For example, if you notice spikes in sales during certain months every year, that could indicate seasonal trends influencing customer behavior. Now, don't forget about external factors like economic conditions or industry changes. These can significantly impact demand too, so it's crucial to factor them into your analysis as well. Once we've got all our data nicely laid out, the next step is to apply some analytical tools. Regression models and time series forecasting methods are great for identifying patterns and projecting future outcomes accurately. And remember, the key here is not just predicting, but also understanding why certain trends occur. Let's say you're launching a new high-ticket item. Analyzing historical data on similar products could reveal crucial insights about customer willingness to spend at different price points or during specific times of year. To wrap up, by carefully examining past performance and using robust analytical techniques, we can make informed decisions about future demand. This not only helps optimize inventory levels, but also ensures that you're always prepared for changes in the market landscape. All right, everyone. Today, we're diving into the world of statistical models and machine learning algorithms. It's an exciting topic that can help us make sense of vast amounts of data, uncover hidden patterns, and even predict future trends. Let's start with understanding what these models are. Statistical models use mathematical equations to represent real-world phenomena. They help us estimate probabilities and understand relationships between variables. For example, a linear regression model might show how the price of a house is related to its size or location. These models give us insights into data trends, but can sometimes be limited in complexity. Machine learning algorithms take this concept further by allowing computers to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. They're like statistical models on steroids. A simple example would be a decision tree, which splits data based on certain conditions to make predictions. More complex models include neural networks that mimic the human brain structure and function. Now, let's talk about how these models work together. Statistical models often serve as foundational tools in machine learning pipelines. For instance, linear regression might be used initially to understand basic relationships before feeding data into a more sophisticated algorithm like support vector machines or random forests. The beauty of machine learning is its ability to handle large datasets and complex interactions between variables that traditional statistical methods may miss. By training on extensive data samples, these algorithms can find intricate patterns and make accurate predictions. But how do we know which model to use? It's all about the problem at hand. If you're dealing with a small dataset or need an interpretable model, something like logistic regression might be suitable. For bigger datasets where accuracy is key, neural networks could be your go-to choice. Let's not forget about evaluating these models too. Techniques like cross-validation help us assess performance without overfitting to the training data. Metrics such as accuracy, precision, recall, and F1 score give us a clearer picture of how well our model is performing. In conclusion, statistical models and machine learning algorithms are powerful tools that can revolutionize how we analyze and interpret data. By understanding their capabilities and limitations, you can choose the right approach for your specific needs. Whether it's predicting sales trends or identifying high-risk patients in healthcare, These techniques open up endless possibilities for impactful analysis. That's all for today. Thanks for joining me on this journey through statistical models and machine learning algorithms. All right, everyone, let's dive into today's topic: balancing stock levels across the supply chain network. Imagine you're managing a bustling warehouse filled with all sorts of goods, from high-ticket electronics to everyday essentials. The challenge is ensuring that every item is available when needed without tying up too much cash in inventory. To start off, we need to understand why balancing stock levels matters. Properly managed inventory keeps costs down and ensures customer satisfaction by avoiding shortages or overstocking issues. When you get it right, your supply chain runs smoothly like a well-oiled machine. Now let's talk about the key elements of maintaining balanced stock levels across your network. The first step is to assess demand accurately. This involves analyzing sales data, trends, and seasonal fluctuations for each product category. For instance, high-ticket items might have lower turnover rates compared to everyday essentials, so you'll need to adjust your stocking strategies accordingly. Next up is forecasting. By predicting future demand based on historical data and external factors like promotions or market conditions, you can better prepare your inventory levels in advance. This helps prevent stockouts during peak seasons and reduces holding costs for slow-moving items. Another important aspect is supplier management. Building strong relationships with reliable suppliers ensures consistent supply flow and minimizes disruptions to your stock levels. It's also crucial to consider lead times when ordering from different vendors, especially those located overseas where shipping delays can occur more frequently. Now let's move on to technology. Leverage tools like inventory management software, which automate tracking and alert you when restocking is needed or overstocking risks arise. Advanced analytics within these systems can provide valuable insights into optimal stock levels based on real-time sales data and trends. Lastly, don't forget about physical space constraints in your warehouses. Efficient storage solutions that maximize the use of available floor space are key to keeping inventory costs low while maintaining adequate stock levels. Regularly reviewing warehouse layouts and using dynamic slotting techniques can help optimize this process. In conclusion, balancing stock levels across your supply chain network requires a strategic approach focusing on accurate demand assessment, forecasting, supplier management, technology utilization, and efficient storage solutions. By implementing these practices, you'll be well-equipped to navigate the challenges of managing inventory effectively and ensuring smooth operations throughout your supply chain. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the intricacies of balancing stock levels in a supply chain network. All right, folks, today we're diving into the world of just-in-time delivery systems. Now, you might be wondering what exactly that means and why it's such an important concept in supply chain management. So let's break this down. Just-in-time, or JIT for short, is a production and inventory management method aimed at reducing waste by receiving materials only when needed to produce the product being manufactured. It helps companies minimize their investment in raw material inventories while ensuring that they can still meet customer demand efficiently. The key idea here is efficiency. By matching supply with demand as closely as possible, businesses reduce waste and lower costs. This means ordering materials just before you need them for production, rather than keeping large stocks on hand, which can tie up capital and space. Let's look at how JIT works in practice. A company implementing this system would first identify the critical components needed to produce its product. Then, they establish a reliable supplier network that delivers these parts right when needed. This could involve setting up communication channels or even logistics arrangements with suppliers to ensure timely delivery. Implementing JIT isn't just about getting materials on time, though. It's also about quality control and continuous improvement. Companies need to work closely with their suppliers to ensure the highest possible standards are met each time, reducing defects and improving overall product reliability. One of the biggest challenges when implementing a just-in-time system is managing risk. Since you're ordering smaller quantities more frequently, any disruption in supply can have a significant impact on production lines. To mitigate this, businesses often develop contingency plans and maintain relationships with multiple suppliers to diversify their sources. Another important aspect of JIT delivery systems is the technology involved. Many companies use advanced software tools to track inventory levels and supplier performance closely. This helps them forecast demand accurately and schedule deliveries accordingly. So, how does a company know if just-in-time is right for them? Well, it really depends on several factors such as product type, industry norms, and customer expectations. High-volume, low-variety products might benefit more from JIT compared to custom or highly varied products, where maintaining some inventory buffer makes sense. In conclusion, implementing a just-in-time delivery system can lead to significant improvements in supply chain efficiency and cost savings for businesses that adopt it properly. It requires close collaboration with suppliers, robust risk management strategies, and the right technological tools to succeed. All right, let's dive into the world of supplier selection and evaluation for quality consistency. It's like picking the right ingredients to bake an amazing cake. You wouldn't want to use any old flour or eggs from just anywhere, would you? So how do we make sure our suppliers are up to par? First things first, identifying key suppliers. Think about it as finding those high-quality vendors that provide critical components or services for your business. These aren't just any Joe off the street. They're partners who play a major role in shaping your product or service. Now, once you've identified them, how do you evaluate if they're truly top-notch? Start with their track record. Look at past performance and reliability. Have they consistently delivered on time without hiccups? Next, consider quality standards. Are they meeting the high-ticket requirements set by your company or even exceeding them? Don't forget about certifications, too. Some industries have specific accreditation processes suppliers need to go through. Make sure your potential partners are up to date with these requirements. And speaking of requirements, compatibility is key here as well. Can their systems integrate smoothly into yours? It's all about teamwork. Another important aspect is communication and responsiveness. Are they quick to answer questions or address issues? A supplier should be easily approachable and willing to collaborate closely with you. Now let's talk about cost-effectiveness. While price isn't everything, it's certainly a factor. But don't just go for the cheapest option, look at value for money instead. Sometimes paying slightly more upfront can save headaches down the line due to better quality materials or services. Finally, think about sustainability and ethical practices. In today's world, consumers care deeply about where their products come from and how they're made. So it pays to have suppliers who align with these values. Putting all this together requires a bit of research and critical thinking, but trust me, the effort is worth it. Finding those reliable key suppliers can make all the difference in maintaining quality consistency across your operations. So there, you have it. From identifying your key players to evaluating their performance. We've covered the basics for selecting and evaluating suppliers who help keep your business running smoothly and successfully. All right, today we're diving into an essential aspect of business management: building long-term partnerships with suppliers through effective communication. You see, just like any relationship, your partnership with suppliers is all about understanding and working together towards shared goals. So let's start by talking about why it's crucial to communicate well with your suppliers. First off, good communication helps prevent misunderstandings that can lead to delays or quality issues in the products you receive. If there are nitty-gritty details that need addressing, having a clear line of communication ensures these are sorted out quickly and efficiently. Another key point is trust. When you maintain regular contact with your suppliers, they feel valued and become more invested in delivering high-quality goods to you. Now, how do we achieve this effective communication? Well, the first step is to establish open lines of dialogue from day one. Make sure both parties are comfortable reaching out whenever there's an issue or a new opportunity for collaboration. Regular meetings can be really helpful here, whether it's monthly catch-ups or quarterly reviews. These provide structured opportunities to discuss ongoing projects and upcoming challenges. Another important aspect is transparency about your business needs and goals. When suppliers know what you're aiming for, they can tailor their services to better suit your requirements. For instance, if you're looking to launch a new high-ticket product line soon, give them the heads up so they can prepare accordingly. Moreover, it's crucial not just to communicate regularly, but also effectively. This means being clear and concise in your messages while still providing all necessary details. Avoiding jargon and speaking directly about issues is key here. No one wants to be bogged down by unnecessary information. Lastly, remember that communication isn't just about talking. It's equally important to listen actively. Pay attention to feedback from suppliers and consider their suggestions when making decisions that affect your partnership. By creating a two-way dialogue, you foster mutual respect and trust, which strengthens the relationship over time. In conclusion, building long-term partnerships with suppliers through effective communication requires dedication and effort on both ends. It's about fostering relationships based on transparency, regular interaction, and active listening. When done right, these partnerships can be incredibly beneficial for both parties involved, leading to better products, improved services, and ultimately more success in your business ventures. So there you have it. Effective communication is the backbone of strong supplier relationships. All right, let's dive into our topic today: optimizing route networks for cost efficiency. When we talk about optimizing routes, we're talking about making sure that the paths taken by trucks or trains or any other form of transportation are as efficient as possible. This isn't just about saving time, it's also about reducing costs and improving overall productivity. Let's start with the basics, understanding what makes a route network cost-efficient. There are several key factors here, such as minimizing travel distance, avoiding high-ticket fuel stops, and reducing idle times at distribution centers or warehouses. By focusing on these areas, we can significantly cut down on operating expenses. Now, let's look at some practical steps to achieve this optimization. One approach is using advanced software tools that utilize GPS data to map out the most efficient routes based on real-time traffic conditions and other variables. These tools not only save time, but also money by avoiding unnecessary detours or congested areas. Another important aspect is vehicle maintenance scheduling. By planning regular services at lower-cost locations along the route, you can reduce downtime and travel costs associated with bringing vehicles back to a central location for repairs. It's also crucial to consider load distribution. Making sure that each truck or train is carrying as close to its maximum capacity as possible without overloading helps cut down on the number of trips needed to deliver goods, which directly impacts fuel consumption and overall efficiency. Lastly, don't forget about the nitty-gritty details, like choosing routes with fewer traffic lights or stop signs. These small interruptions can add up quickly when you're dealing with hundreds or even thousands of miles traveled every week. In conclusion, optimizing route networks for cost efficiency is all about making smart choices that reduce travel time and expenses while ensuring your transportation network operates smoothly. By leveraging technology and focusing on key areas like maintenance scheduling and load distribution, you can significantly improve the overall performance and profitability of your logistics operations. That's it for today's lesson on optimizing route networks for cost efficiency. Today, we're diving into an exciting topic: how to leverage intermodal transport solutions effectively. Imagine you have a big shipment of high-ticket goods that needs to move from coast to coast. The challenge is making sure it arrives on time and safely. Intermodal transportation offers the perfect solution by combining different modes of transport like trucks, trains, and ships. So let's break this down step by step. First off, understand your cargo. What kind of items are you shipping? Are they fragile or heavy? Knowing these details helps choose the right combination of transport methods to ensure safe delivery. For example, a big load of steel might go from warehouse to port by truck and then across oceans via ship. Next up is choosing routes that make sense for your shipment. Think about where your goods are coming from and going to. Is it better to use rail for long distances or trucks for shorter hauls? Intermodal solutions often involve multiple legs, so planning these ahead of time can save you a lot of hassle later on. Now let's talk logistics. Coordinating all these different transport methods isn't easy. You'll need to work closely with carriers and make sure everything is timed perfectly to avoid delays. This might mean scheduling train pickups at specific times or ensuring trucks are ready when the ship docks. Another important aspect is tracking your cargo throughout its journey. With Intermodal, you're not just dealing with one carrier anymore. Make sure each leg of the trip has proper documentation and communication channels open for real-time updates. Finally, don't forget about costs. Intermodal can be more expensive than single-mode transportation, but offers significant benefits too. Factor in all expenses like fuel, labor, and terminal fees to get an accurate cost-benefit analysis. In summary, leveraging intermodal transport solutions involves understanding your cargo needs, planning routes strategically, coordinating logistics meticulously, tracking shipments effectively, and managing costs wisely. By doing these steps right, you can ensure your goods arrive safely and efficiently, making a big impact on your bottom line. That's it for today's lesson. Happy transporting! All right, everyone, let's dive into designing efficient warehouse layouts for smooth flow of goods. When it comes to managing warehouses, we know that every inch counts and every decision can impact productivity. So how do we design a layout that maximizes efficiency? First off, we need to assess our inventory needs. What are the high-ticket items? How often do they move in and out of the warehouse? Understanding these details helps us allocate space wisely. For example, if certain products are quick movers, placing them closer to loading docks can speed up distribution. Next up is considering traffic flow. We want smooth movement without bottlenecks or congestion. A one-way system can help prevent accidents and streamline operations. Think about how aisles should be arranged for efficient picking paths. Less zigzagging means less time wasted. Don't forget about storage solutions too. Shelving systems need to accommodate various sizes of goods while ensuring easy access. Adjustable racks offer flexibility, adapting as inventory changes over time. Also, don't overlook the importance of vertical space. High ceilings can mean more efficient use of square footage. Another key aspect is automation. Robots and conveyor belts can handle repetitive tasks, freeing up staff for more complex work. But we need to ensure these systems fit seamlessly into our layout without disrupting workflows. Lastly, safety must be at the forefront. Clear signage, adequate lighting, and easy-to-navigate paths are essential. Regular maintenance checks keep equipment running smoothly and prevent breakdowns that could halt operations. In summary, designing an efficient warehouse layout involves assessing inventory needs, optimizing traffic flow, choosing suitable storage solutions, integrating automation where possible, and ensuring safety throughout the space. By focusing on these key areas, we can create a workspace that operates at peak efficiency, reducing costs and improving productivity. That wraps up our lesson for now. Remember, designing an efficient warehouse layout is about balancing multiple factors to achieve smooth operations. All right, let's dive into managing inventory levels across multiple distribution centers, shall we? It's like juggling a bunch of balls, but instead of catching them all at once, you're making sure each one is in just the right spot. So first off, why do we even bother with this? Well, imagine your company has several warehouses spread out over different regions. Each warehouse stocks items that might be needed by customers in their area. The goal here is to ensure that every center has enough stock to meet customer demand without having too much sitting around gathering dust. Now, let's get into some specifics on how to manage this efficiently. One key strategy is implementing an inventory management system that tracks everything from when a product comes in to when it goes out the door. This could involve barcode scanning, RFID tags, or even smart shelves. The idea is to have real-time visibility of what's happening at each center so you can make informed decisions. Next up, forecasting plays a crucial role here. By predicting demand accurately, you can adjust inventory levels accordingly. High-ticket items might need closer attention than others since they're more valuable and could impact profits significantly if not managed properly. Also, seasonal trends should be considered, like how winter coats are in high demand during colder months, but then drop off once spring rolls around. Another important aspect is the coordination between centers. For example, if one warehouse runs low on a certain product, another might have excess stock that could easily be transferred over to balance things out. This requires effective communication and planning among all centers involved. Lastly, don't forget about returns and exchanges. Managing these can be tricky because they impact inventory levels too. Make sure your system is set up to handle returned items efficiently so you're not wasting space or resources on them longer than necessary. So there you have it, a basic overview of managing inventory across multiple distribution centers. It's all about striking that perfect balance between having enough stock and avoiding overstocking, while also ensuring everything moves smoothly from warehouse to customer. All right, everyone, let's dive into today's lesson on identifying potential risks to supply chain operations. Now, you might be wondering why we're focusing so much on risk in this context. Well, it's because every link in your supply chain can potentially break down, causing delays and increasing costs. So understanding these risks is crucial for maintaining smooth operations. To start off, let's look at some common internal risks. These include things like inefficient inventory management or poor coordination between departments. For example, if you're not tracking stock levels closely enough, you might end up with either shortages or overstocking issues. This can lead to unhappy customers and increased storage costs. Next up are external risks. These factors are beyond your control, but still impact the supply chain significantly. Think about weather events like hurricanes or floods that can disrupt transportation routes. Or consider geopolitical tensions, which might affect international shipping times and costs. These types of disruptions can be unpredictable, making it essential to have contingency plans in place. Another key risk area is supplier reliability. High-ticket items sourced from a single supplier mean you're heavily dependent on their performance. If they face issues like production delays or quality control problems, your entire operation could suffer. So diversifying your supplier base helps mitigate this kind of risk. Now let's talk about regulatory compliance risks. Changes in laws and regulations can suddenly impact your supply chain operations. For instance, new customs clearance procedures might slow down the import process significantly. Staying up to date with these changes is vital for avoiding costly delays or fines. Lastly, don't forget about technological disruptions. Advancements like blockchain or AI could revolutionize how you manage inventory and logistics, but also present learning curves and potential integration issues. Keeping an eye on tech trends can help you stay ahead of the curve. In conclusion, identifying these risks early on is key to proactively managing your supply chain operations effectively. By addressing internal inefficiencies, planning for external disruptions, diversifying supplier sources, staying compliant with regulations, and embracing technological advancements, you'll be better equipped to handle any challenges that come your way. All right, everyone. Today, we're going to dive into developing contingency plans and business continuity measures. It's all about being prepared for those unexpected bumps in the road that can happen anytime, anywhere. Let's start by understanding what these terms mean. A contingency plan is like having a backup strategy ready to go when things don't go as planned. On the other hand, business continuity measures are long-term strategies designed to ensure your operations keep running smoothly even during disruptions. Both are crucial for protecting your business and ensuring you can recover quickly from any setbacks. Now, let's break down how we can create effective contingency plans and business continuity measures step by step. First off, identify potential risks that could affect your business. These might include natural disasters, cyber attacks, or supply chain interruptions. Once you've identified these risks, assess their likelihood and impact on your operations. This will help prioritize which risks to focus on. Next up, develop specific plans for each risk. For example, if you're worried about a hurricane hitting your area, your contingency plan might involve relocating critical data and equipment to a safer location. Meanwhile, business continuity measures would include having redundant systems in place so that even if one part of the system goes down, others can take over seamlessly. It's also important to consider high-ticket items or services that are crucial for your day-to-day operations. You need to ensure there's a backup plan for these because any disruption could severely impact your business financially and reputationally. Don't forget about training staff on these plans as well. They should know exactly what to do in case of emergencies, so they can act quickly without hesitation. Regular drills or simulations can help solidify everyone's roles and responsibilities. Lastly, review and update your contingency plans and business continuity measures regularly. As your company grows and evolves, new risks might emerge while others become less relevant over time. In conclusion, developing robust contingency plans and business continuity measures is essential for any thriving organization. By being prepared for the unexpected, you can minimize downtime and ensure your business remains resilient and competitive in an ever-changing world. Today, we're diving into how lean manufacturing techniques can revolutionize your supply chain operations. By applying these principles, you'll see improvements in efficiency and productivity while reducing waste. Let's start by understanding what lean manufacturing is all about. Lean manufacturing focuses on eliminating any activity that doesn't add value to the final product or service. It's all about identifying those non-value-added activities and working to streamline processes so only necessary steps remain. This way, you can achieve higher quality output while minimizing waste in terms of time, materials, and labor. Now let's explore how we apply these techniques specifically to supply chain management. One key aspect is inventory reduction. By implementing just-in-time JIT delivery systems and Kanban methods, businesses can lower their stock levels significantly without sacrificing production speed or customer satisfaction. This not only reduces holding costs, but also decreases the risk of obsolescence. Next up is process standardization. Lean principles encourage setting clear, standardized procedures for every part of the supply chain, from procurement to final assembly. By doing this, you create a consistent flow that's easier to monitor and improve over time. It's like having a well-oiled machine where each component works seamlessly together. Another critical element is continuous improvement or Kaizen. This involves regularly reviewing your processes to find new ways to optimize operations. Whether it's tweaking supplier relationships or adjusting production schedules, the goal is always to get better at what you do every single day. We also need to talk about waste reduction. Lean manufacturing identifies 8 major types of waste in a process: overproduction, waiting time, transportation, unnecessary processing, excess inventory, defects, and underutilized talent. By addressing these areas, companies can see significant savings across their supply chain operations. Lastly, let's touch on the importance of collaboration. A truly lean supply chain relies heavily on strong partnerships between suppliers and manufacturers. When all parties are aligned towards common goals of efficiency and quality improvement, everyone benefits. In conclusion, applying lean manufacturing techniques to your supply chain isn't just about cutting costs. It's about transforming how you operate to deliver better products faster with fewer resources. By focusing on eliminating waste, standardizing processes, and fostering collaboration, businesses can achieve sustainable competitive advantages in today's fast-paced market environment. All right, everyone, let's dive into today's lesson on how we can utilize statistical methods for continuous quality enhancement. We're going to explore some key concepts and see how they can be applied in real-world settings. First off, what do you think about when you hear statistical methods? For many of us, it might conjure up images of complex equations or graphs that seem a bit intimidating at first glance. But don't worry, we're going to break this down into manageable pieces and see how these tools can help improve our processes. Let's start with the basics. Statistical methods give us powerful tools to analyze data, identify trends, and make informed decisions. One of the most fundamental concepts here is descriptive statistics. These include measures like mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. They provide a quick overview of our dataset and help us understand where we stand. Now, let's talk about control charts. These are essential for monitoring process stability over time. By plotting key metrics on these charts, we can detect any unusual patterns or shifts that might signal problems in the process. For example, if you're managing production lines, a sudden spike in defects could indicate equipment failure or operator error. Another important tool is hypothesis testing. This method allows us to make decisions based on data rather than just gut feelings. It helps us determine whether observed differences are statistically significant or simply due to chance. Imagine comparing two different manufacturing techniques. Hypothesis testing can tell you which one really performs better. Speaking of performance improvements, Six Sigma methodologies come into play here. They aim for near-perfect outputs by identifying and eliminating defects in any process. By focusing on reducing variability, we can enhance overall quality and efficiency. Lastly, let's touch on the concept of continuous improvement. This is all about making small, incremental changes over time to steadily improve performance. It's a gradual but effective approach that leverages statistical tools to track progress and identify areas for further enhancement. So there you have it, some key statistical methods to help with quality enhancement. By understanding these concepts and applying them in your work, you can make more informed decisions and drive continuous improvement in your processes. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope this gives you a solid foundation to start utilizing these powerful tools in your own projects. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the intricacies of designing efficient supply chain networks. Together, we've explored foundational concepts like understanding basic supply chain management and recognizing why a well-designed network is crucial. We dove deep into techniques such as demand forecasting using historical data and advanced statistical models, which are key to predicting customer needs accurately. Inventory management strategies were another focus, emphasizing the delicate balance between maintaining adequate stock levels while minimizing holding costs through just-in-time delivery systems. Our discussions also highlighted the importance of strong supplier relationships, achieved through careful selection based on quality criteria and ongoing communication for long-term partnerships. We examined transportation logistics, planning to optimize routes for cost savings, and considered how intermodal solutions can further enhance efficiency. The operation of warehousing and distribution centers was another critical topic, where we looked at designing layouts that facilitate smooth goods flow and managing inventory across multiple sites. Risk management strategies were also covered, with emphasis on identifying potential hazards and developing robust contingency plans to ensure business continuity. Finally, we explored how Lean Six Sigma principles can drive process improvement through techniques such as lean manufacturing and statistical methods for quality control. As you move forward in your career, Remember the most important takeaways from this course. Understanding the basics of supply chain management, accurately forecasting demand, balancing inventory levels, building supplier relationships, optimizing transportation routes, managing warehousing operations effectively, mitigating risks with contingency plans, and continuously improving processes using Lean Six Sigma principles. Apply these concepts to real-world scenarios and watch as your efficiency and performance in designing supply chains improve dramatically. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and encourage you to share your experiences or insights from applying what you've learned here today. Don't forget to connect with me if there are any questions or areas that require further discussion, or leave a review of this course if it was helpful